Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I will be sharing with you how I took this 90s entertainment center and transformed it into a pre-teens reading nook. I'm not sure if you guys remember, but a handful of months ago I helped my mom clean up her garage. However, we still had numerous projects that needed to be completed in one side of the garage, and this particular piece is one of them. My nephew has been wanting a reading nook where he can store his books, have a nice, comfy place to read in his room, away from his little sister, basically. He loves her to death, but he wants to have his own space. And naturally, he asked me if I could help him customize one. I thought, what better way to keep him entertained during the summer break than doing this project together? The entertainment center itself has been in storage for quite some time. It had some normal wear and tear, a little bit of scratches on the surface, but really and truly in great condition. It was a great candidate for a summer makeover. And with that in mind, we got to work. We started off by prepping the surface, cleaning it off from all the dust, and giving it a good scrub with some soap and water. Quick little backstory on this entertainment center. Back in the day, it actually used to be in my brother's room. Isn't that cool? This piece that once belonged to the dad was now going to be transformed and reused in his son's room. I thought that was so cool. As we worked on the piece, I shared with my nephew where we used to place the VHS/DVD combo set on the top shelf above the TV, and how the TV that we had here was actually a box TV, and how the drawers underneath were meant for like the VHS tapes, and we used the shelves on the side for all the CDs and DVDs. It was just so funny because more than half of the things that I was sharing with him, he had no idea what I was talking about. And the generation gap was really showing there. The vision was to cut the top right corner off and create a bench area where the TV used to go. In order to get the straightest possible cut, I did use this clamp edge saw guide, aligned it to where I wanted to cut the furniture, and I used a circular saw and cut it off from both the top and the side. To make the bench area feel a little more complete and more intentional, I gave it a little bit of a finish. I had this piece of wood that I had saved from a previous project. We simply applied some wood glue, added some nails, and let it dry. I took advantage and I taught my nephew how to use a nail and a hammer. We had multiple nails that got bent throughout the process, but in the end, we succeeded. He had never done this before, so it was definitely a very fun learning opportunity we had together. Once it was dried, we used some Bondo wood filler to fill in the gaps between each piece we had removed or added so that it looked uniform in these areas. We allowed it to dry for about 20 minutes. Then we came back and with a 120 grit sandpaper, We sanded off any excess wood filler. We also took advantage and went ahead and sanded down the entire piece, scuffing it up enough to where we removed that old finish. And with this furniture piece cleaned, cut down, sanded, and cleaned again, we went ahead and called it a day. For the second day, we started prepping for paint. Even though we had already cleaned off the dust from the day before, we went ahead and gave it a second wipe down. Then we added a layer of all-purpose primer. We did add a little bit of blue into our primer since it was a white-based primer, and we were planning on painting this reading nook in a deep, dark navy blue color. When painting any wood piece, I always recommend sanding it down lightly in between each layer. I use a 220 grit sandpaper, and all I'm looking for are any small imperfections, any wood particles that swell up with the paint. To give you an idea, this feels like little pieces of sand on the surface. This is completely normal to happen, but if you don't remove these layers, they'll end up being very bumpy at the end. So your surface won't be nice and smooth. It's very unpleasant to the touch, and sometimes you can even see it. And of course, I always recommend wiping down that dust with a clean wet rag. If not, your work is in vain. That dust is going to stay on the surface, it's going to get into the paint, and it's the same thing as if you wouldn't have sanded. As I mentioned before, the color we chose for the reading nook was a deep, dark navy blue color. We did apply 2 layers of paint, but guys, on this particular day, it was so hot. I mean, burning hot. We started working around like 8:39 a.m. and by 1 p.m., we just couldn't go anymore. We called it a day. The temperature was close to 100 degrees and we just couldn't deal with it anymore. We were in a garage with a simple fan in Texas heat. No way, Jose. We applied 1 layer of paint and that was it for the day. To seal the piece, we used Behr polyurethane in a matte finish. We did apply 2 layers of polyurethane, and then we moved on to finishing off the doors for the bookshelf. Okay, so the bookshelf section. These were glass doors that were not very exciting and they were very boring. So we came up with the brilliant idea of covering them with an anime comic strip wallpaper. We ordered it off of Amazon and then we realized it was not wallpaper, it was wall decor. Pieces of cardboard to decorate your wall with. Ugh. I mean, I did go back and I tried to find the wallpaper that would work, but we just didn't find what we were looking for. I searched on Etsy and other similar sites, and none of them had what we wanted. Or if they did have it, it was just ridiculously expensive. So we went back to the drawing board. And then I remembered that when I was a little girl, like 13, I used to use clear contact paper to wrap spiral binders and books and all sorts of stuff for school. And all of a sudden, boom, the light bulb came off. What if I wrap these glass doors with the cardboard images and then wrap them with the clear contact paper? Bingo! We had found a solution. So we first sorted out and created the collage that we were looking for. Then we cut the cardboards down to size. I used a cutting board, a ruler, and a precision knife. Then we started wrapping the glass. I used some double-sided sticky dots to avoid the cardboard from moving, and I used a ruler and my finger to press the contact paper down to avoid any air bubbles throughout the process. Once I was done with adding the front pieces, I simply flipped the glass over and I finished wrapping it on the back side. This definitely took longer than expected, but in the end, it looked amazing. I was so excited this worked. Another thing we did was create covers for the bench cushions. Now, that was a whole nother task in itself, and I have so much to share with you guys on that process. What I learned, what I would do differently, that I think it just needs its own video. If not, this one would be way too long. So for now, I'm going to skip that piece and I'll be creating a step-by-step video on how I made these. So make sure you follow my channel so you don't miss out on this upcoming video. Now, as far as the reading nook, we were ready to assemble, move it into place, and stage for the final reveal. And here you go, you guys. A quick reminder of us starting off with an outdated 90s style entertainment center, and we transformed it into a pre-teens reading nook. I love how this came out. It looks way better than I could have ever imagined. I also love that this was once my brother's and now it's his son's. And even though it was so hot, we had a blast creating this for my nephew. We decided to sign and date the piece in the back so we wouldn't forget what we did this summer. And this is a customized reading nook for my nephew. It has been one of my favorite transformations, probably based on the sentimental value of it. I hope you guys enjoy this video and you're inspired to take any outdated pieces of furniture and just customize them into something completely different and new. If you are curious on how to create those custom bench cushions, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel so you get the notification of the upcoming video. But for now, I'm going to have to say goodbye to you guys and stay tuned for upcoming projects. We'll see you guys next time here at Angie's Crafts Furniture Renovation. Goodbye.